Film club.
I don't like letting people down. It really annoys me.
You've let me down.
Well,
There's one colour that's off limits at Film Club.
you let yourself down.
Thank you very much for joining us for an episode of Film Club. I am one of your hosts, Andy Harrison. To my right, as always, it's the letdown, Andy Donaldson.
I haven't let anyone down.
Ruining the illusion. Now you have a red shirt.
Smart.
Every single week in Film Club, we invite you along to watch a film with us. We dive into some of cinema's best before coming back here to talk it out. Andy, this week, a recommendation once again. We are taking the recommendation of AHAI, Artificial Intelligence.
Yep.
Film from 2001 by Steven Spielberg.
Just about to say Spielberg.
Now, we've seen this before.
I used to have this DVD in my list of 20 DVDs.
And I think you and I watched this.
Probably, it's going to be my 10th time watching this.
Yeah, like countless times when we were kids. Countless times. Rewatching it now, what do you think?
I knew exactly what was going to happen the whole film, but it was quite enjoyable considering how long it's been since I last watched it. To watch it again and kind of like notice last time I watched this, I was probably a teenager. So to actually watch it again and actually properly understand the theme behind the film, what is, humanity and everything like that, and the way Spielberg's gone about it. It's quite refreshing watching a Spielberg film. I haven't watched one of his in a while, and that kind of it's a range of emotions, but it's overall quite loving as he is. It comes to the end, it's a bit heartfelt and stuff like that. And just going through it, I thought, you know what, they gave themselves so much almost creativity in this film. And it is 2001. It does have that 2000s kind of feel to it, which is a little bit dated, but I think it's pulled through all right in terms of effects. It's not terrible in terms of the way it's aged. I think it's all right.
Oh, the effects are great.
Yeah.
And if memory serves, they won the Academy Award that year, I think, for effects. And totally deserved.
Yeah.
That bear still holds up. A lot of the face effects still hold up.
It looks like a puppet, that bear.
Yeah, I think it's a mix of animatronics and I
really
think
well
some
played,
CGI as well, maybe.
But even if you look at the woman at the start, when then she comes out and her head moves up and stuff like that, that looks like modern day kind of CGI, if it is CGI, everything like that. And the only thing about the film, it's not a bad thing. It's just like the kind of like the tone and the screen of the film. It's just got that kind of 2000s thing to it, which for me is rather nostalgic almost. But no, I feel like it's a heartfelt story. I enjoyed watching this again. With that added kind of like, I'm now 28. Here is AI. Whereas last time I watched it, I was a teenager. What did you think?
I really struggled rewatching this. I remember, actually, I was telling Natalie about this. The first time we watched this, maybe not the first time, actually. That's not fair. AI is the first film I ever remember thinking to myself, this is long.
Is it long? Oh, it's 2 hours 20, isn't it?
Yeah, so it's not actually that long of a film. But I remember thinking to myself, like, this is dragging. And this was when I was a kid. Like, it's the first film I ever remember having that thought in. And then rewatching it now, I think at the time I didn't mind so much. I just thought that was the pacing of the film. Now, I don't particularly... I can understand why people like this film, but I kind of don't.
It's cool.
There's stuff about it that just drags for me. And I think I don't like the framing of it as like almost a retelling of Pinocchio.
Yes,
I like it conceptually. I just don't like the execution of it. It puts me off immediately with the voiceover.
What, the narrator?
Yeah. It does the sort of like fairy tale narrator thing.
I was wondering who the narrator was. I was trying to find out. Is it the bear?
Oh, I'm not sure actually.
Anyway, you might be able to tell us in the comments.
Yeah, if you know, let us know below. So then you get into the bit at the beginning where we start to have this ask that these parents have decided their kid is not, like, he's clearly in a critical state and they think he's dead. So we've decided that instead we're going to go and get David, who's the kid. Also
a prototype, more or less.
Yeah, he's a prototype. The company kind of want to test this new AI technology. And the kid, I want to say that, even though this didn't click with me, that kid is brilliant. He does such a really good job. Like,
fantastic acting.
We've had a couple things on the show where we talk about like kid actors being problematic. No, he's totally good. He's excellent.
He's the famous I see dead people guy. Haley Joel Osment, is that his name? And everyone knows him, what he looks like and everything like that. He's not that prominent nowadays as he's growing up. He was a big child actor. And he is, and what I'm glad you mentioned about his acting, because one of my favorite things, if you look at the transition before Monica says the words to David, and he's like a robot, and he's like the way he just moves his head and he goes,
There's
like that. It's really robotic.
The fact that he's not blinking and stuff.
Yeah.
Like the kid does so much subtlety.
Yeah.
That I'm so impressed that's coming from a child.
Yep.
And this kind of links into the big story behind the film. That like most people know the story by now. That actually this used to be a Kubrick film.
Oh yes, sorry, yes.
This wasn't originally intended to be a Spielberg film. Spielberg and Kubrick were apparently quite, they knew each other, they were good friends. And Kubrick was going to direct the film and actually put it on hold eventually because...
Didn't he start in 1970, he acquired the rights and started building a team of writers to do it?
Yep. I don't know if it's 70s, but somewhere, yeah. It was early that like he acquired the rights, started writing it, even did a bunch of pre-production and screen tests and things, and decided that, I think the famous like quote or whatever is that he decided no child actor could play David. So instead, his intention was going to be that he needed a bunch of CGI to help enhance that character.
Ah, right, I see now.
But he wanted tech to catch up with him.
Yeah.
And when they did the screen test, he wasn't happy with it. And he decided like the kind of more sentimental angle of the film wasn't quite fit for his style of directing. And instead, he thought Spielberg would be really good for it. Asked Spielberg to take over as a director. He said no, he wouldn't do it. He went and did other things for years. This project just got shelved. And then Kubrick died, obviously, in the late 90s after he did Eyes Wide Shut.
I didn't actually realise how soon after doing that Kubrick had died.
Yeah.
It was 70 or something, Kubrick. I didn't realise how old he was too. So yeah, he died after that, and then...
Yeah, after his death, they asked, I think it was Kubrick's wife, I want to say, asked Spielberg if he'd pick up the project again. And he said, yeah, but it still took him quite a lot of time to revisit the script, rewrite a few things. Because if I remember right, he's not credited as a writer or a producer or anything on the film.
Kubrick. I noticed this, and I'm surprised because I looked through and I was thinking, where's the and cheers to Kubrick sort of thing in it? I didn't see any credits.
So lots of people consider this one of the great what ifs of cinema. What if this had been a Kubrick film? What would change about it? What would be better? What would be worse about it? Because it certainly would have been different, I think.
It would have been different, but you could say that about any film. What if is it Kira Kurosawa?
What about him?
What if he did like one of the great action films that we know nowadays? What if he did something like, this, that, and the other? These what if questions can go everywhere. I think the fact that Spielberg took it on and had this project, especially after saying no, is like a testament to his character as a director. Is the ability what Spielberg does, making this film that's kind of done by Kubrick. He's made it his own thing, and then he's put his own kind of image on it. Especially after all the previous projects that he's done, he might not have really wanted to go down that route. I think it's amazing. I respect Spielberg. I think what he's done for the film industry is huge.
Yeah.
And I think not this film essentially. I want to say this is one of Spielberg's best film. Sorry, but I think saying that he shows his like kind of character, but it also shows his ability to take on a project and do it well. And I know you don't like it, but is there a Spielberg film out there? There probably is. Is there a Spielberg out there that's like not at least above average?
Kingdom of the Crystal Skull.
Oh yeah, actually, we found one. We definitely found one. Okay, so with that anomaly, my point is to do that and take on AI, especially after what Kubrick said in the child actor, which Spielberg found that Haley Joel Osment, and also the effects, which, as you said, they were great. I think Spielberg's done a great job.
Yeah.
And it's not a film I go out and actively watch besides, like a review or stuff like that. But I'm not like you. I thought it was all right. She was crying her eyes out watching the whole thing when David got left and stuff like that.
Yeah, so Natalie said that when she was a kid and she watched this, she cried at this too. And I can understand it. I remember...
I'm an emotional rock, so I didn't.
Just absolute island in this ocean of emotion.
Yeah.
It rhymes. So I can kind of understand where people are coming from with that stuff. I think maybe is there more sentiment in it to somebody who's a parent?
Maybe.
Is there more sentiment there? It's interesting that like I remember feeling more attached to David when I was a kid, and maybe that's because he's a kid and there's just there's an immediate connection going on there. Right now, this film isn't clicking for me, but what I do love about it, the music.
John Williams.
John Williams is doing an excellent job here.
That amazing partnership of Williams and Spielberg. You know, you've got Jurassic Park. I actually nearly said Star Wars, not Star Wars. This and
Indiana Jones.
Yes, Indiana Jones. Good call.
But
the old C major scale. Actually, I don't know if this is in C
that?
major. John Williams writes majority of scores in C major, and how he actually managed to achieve it, because the C major scale is all the white buttons on the keyboard. It's like da 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 da.
Right.
Probably out of tune. And you normally, like when you write music, you tend to go like different kind of you know, like you go like minor, fucking seventh. I can't remember the rest of the scales. One begins with D. You know,
you could tell me anything right now, and I wouldn't correct.
My point is, like, when people write music, like, especially if film, it might go like a bit weird, a bit here and there. He somehow manages to write a whole score for like Star Wars, Jurassic Park, Indiana Jones, potentially this. I don't know if this is in C major. And those three films mentioned besides this are all in C major. And how he's managed to do it and have, you know, the scores, the memorable scores that he does in one scale is. John Williams is fucking incredible. I really want to go and see him live.
Bum, 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 bum,
So,
bum, 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 bum.
What did you think of the cinematography of this film?
I don't like it.
It's the same guy, because I just read that. It's the same guy that does Saving Private Ryan and Schindler's List.
Much better films.
Yeah, so I was thinking when I saw Saving Private Ryan, I was thinking, obviously, got that amazing scene at the start and everything like that. I was thinking, I really want to hear what you thought of it. It didn't really come out to me, everything like that, because I was too busy trying to mop up tears and stuff.
So maybe this is one of the things that pushes me off a little bit from it.
Yeah,
is that it's a little bit sort of it almost wants to evoke a sense of nostalgia through the cinematography. A lot of it is kind of very high key lighting. A lot of it is sort of it glows.
Yep.
It's got that sort
Especially when you go to that Rouge City and it's all like neon lights and everything like that.
Yeah. And then, when you get there, the film desperately wants to be Blade Runner. And then that's actually coming out of, or it's going into the part where the film desperately wants to be Mad Max.
I can't remember, Andy. Go on.
You know, the pour acid on the robots and stuff.
Oh, that's beforehand.
Is that beforehand?
Yep.
So that, I think it's just, the one thing it's got going for it is that it still is a Spielberg film, and that comes with a whole bunch of great like blocking and camera movement and all that sort of stuff. He's kind of the master of that sort of thing. He really knows how to position a camera and how to move it around.
We should do a Spielberg film at some point so you can actually elaborate on that.
We had Jaws.
We should do another Spielberg film so we can elaborate on that.
We should do another Spielberg film at some point, actually, because there's plenty there to talk about within that. And here, everything else that the cinematography brings just weighs it down in this almost melodrama. Do you remember last week we were talking about melodrama being a good thing? Here's where I think we get into melodrama being a bad thing. For me, I think maybe the fact that this film hit when it did is great because it could be a success in its time. The problem I have maybe is that the content's been done better since then. The idea has been done better.
He's a film snob.
Do you not think?
I think there's examples everywhere. Everything's been done better. I think this is what I said before. It's a good Spielberg film. It's above average. I liked it. I wouldn't say that everything that you said you can't. It's hard to bring a film down. It's like what we said about Heat. You know, it was a great time. We didn't appreciate it as much, but you can't deny the legacy it's had. Everything like that, and maybe this had a legacy in those films that are potentially better than it.
Oh yeah, absolutely.
It's one of those like it's hard to put into context when it's 2001.
2001, yeah.
As opposed to somewhere like nowadays, or like the film that we're doing next week.
Yeah.
But
what do you think about the ending? Because I know that's a controversial one.
I didn't like it as a kid.
Okay.
But looking back now, I was thinking, fair. You know, everyone's got their own way of doing it. It's got a bit like almost like 2001 in it. You know, you got these beings like our girlfriends go, no, they're aliens. They're not aliens. It's just humanity advanced forward. It's cyborg. It's robots that have evolved into better robots that have come back and almost like going, we want to find out more about humans and all this. Don't understand the whole thing about the humans were genius and everything like that. And like everyone going forward, you know, it's just evolution in the terms of the AI universe. It was all right. I think it was all right. I didn't like it as a kid. I think it's better now.
I think I liked him more as a kid.
Yeah. Each their own.
It's interesting though. Interesting design on the cards. I kind of appreciate where they went with it. Felt a little bit 2001: A Space Odyssey.
Exactly.
But like in quite a cool way.
Exactly.
Like I appreciate them really trying to do that sort of thing. So anyway, thank you to Messama, for I apologize for butchering your name, but thank you very much for recommending that film, because regardless of whether or not like you like it or you don't like it, it's definitely worth a rewatch. It's definitely worth a rewatch.
I would say.
Absolutely. Like if someone hasn't seen this for years, go and check it out, because there is tons to love about this, and I will never have a crack at anybody who likes this. Like I understand why people like it. So thank you so much for recommending it. It was fun to revisit. You can let us know in the comments below what you thought of AI, artificial intelligence, or you can hit us up on Twitter. Links down below. I miss those days where you would do this thing.
I'm better than that now. I've evolved.
But you can join us once again next week, where we are going to take a look at another AI film in the form of Her.
Can't fucking wait.
Yeah, I'm pretty excited.
Can't fucking wait.
Until then, get watching.
Mayo FC 2-1. Clicks go.
No green next week.
I'll wear green all I want.